Do you stay with someone while they are working on themselves? Okay, this is today's episode. It's all about helping you really decide, like, what do? You invested your heart and time and energy into someone, right? You see all this potential and things have been going really well, right? But then things start falling apart and they tell you that they are going to work on themselves. They are going to go to therapy. They signed up for therapy. Do you wait while they, get it together, fix themselves or whatever? I have to speak to that because I've been seeing things like this happen. I've had people ask me this and I'm going to answer. And so, there's a lot of things, a lot of ways you can look at this. But mine is so simple and so direct. And I really need you to lean in to what I'm about to say to you. Okay. It's bye-bye time. It is. And let me tell you something very clearly. Okay. The biggest thing is there's things that you want that are so important that is like fundamental for your relationship, right? If that is not aligned and, you somehow swept things under the rug, right? And finding yourself now here in a situation where they are not making you a priority or they have too many things on their plate or they're not emotionally available. Things that you should have probably seen earlier, right? Like, let's just say like it is, okay? You totally missed the signs. You didn't ask the questions. You didn't dig deep enough. Maybe you just wanted it to work so badly that you really didn't want to see those red flags, right? But now here we are. Everything's kind of blowing up in your face like, oh shit, whoopsie daisies. But they're saying, hey, I love you. I care about you. I can fix this. I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to take steps to be emotionally available or to make you a priority or to whatever it is. Don't hold your breath. I'm serious. I am super not for, oh yeah, you're going to stick it out and be with them while they work on themselves and get to be the person that you really deserve or want and where they need to be, right? To be that partner for you, the healthy, loving partner that you deserve, right? No. As soon as you start to really see, oh shit, everything's blowing up, this is when you own it and you're like, okay, totally missed some things and whoopsie daisies. But don't waste any more time. Really don't waste any more time. It is time to say bye-bye. It's time to say thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate this relationship. There's so much that I have learned. I have grown. There's no anger. For sure it's sad. All breakups are sad. But it's for the most part, right? Most breakups are sad. But this is about saying, wait a second. There was something that I really wanted that I really swept under the rug. I didn't notice. And now it's kind of blowing up in my face. Okay. And if they are saying they're going to do the work, awesome. Do it. Amazing for their own journey. Right. And I am not opposed to oh wow, what if your paths cross down the road, if you're meant to be, right? If that's what's supposed to happen. But I would never want you to keep your energy going backwards, waiting for someone to fulfill the potential that you may have seen, because you're going to be waiting a long day. I'm all about time. I want you to make the most of your time. Every day counts. And I believe to my core that you have your person waiting for you who is all the things that are aligned to what you are looking for. And you've already, spent a certain amount of energy and time on this person who wasn't it. Okay, so you gave it a fair shot. And now, they're saying they're going to do X, Y, and Z to try to be that partner for you that you wish that they could have been this whole time, right? But they're not. I know, I feel like people need to be present and like see what it is. Because, honestly, I know how many times I've waited. I was like dating people that I would see potential. Sometimes I didn't even see potential. Sometimes it was like a make-believe story of like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if like, they weren't like a loser? Or wouldn't it be nice if like they actually, weren't so insecure, or they had a passion, or blah, blah, blah. Like all the list goes on, and it was never there to begin with, and it may never, ever come or arrive. But what I'm saying is that I waited, right? I was waiting, different relationships, waiting around, and it never happened. And what the best thing I said, for myself was like, see somebody for who they are right now. You either choose to accept them for who they are, and it may not be everything you want in a partner, right? Are you willing to forgo everything that you really truly want? And that's your decision. And if you do, and you say, yeah, I'm going to take you as you are, hot mess or whatever X, Y, and Z problems you may have, emotionally unavailable, whatever, and say, I'm going to take you as you are. And I'm going to feel like, I get it. Like I've been wanting this, and that from you, and you're not capable of that. And I'm willing to accept it. Like I am going to choose to move forward with you on this journey where I am not going to get everything I really, truly want. That's it. Like you either choose to accept it as they are. And even if they're in therapy, you have to assume, like you have to just be present. Like they're not there. They're not emotionally available, for example. They're not secure. They're not whatever. Don't say, I'm going to ride this ride with you because you are going to be that person. No, that's bullshit. Like you are like straight up lying to yourself. You either accept them for who they are, all their flaws. And by the way, everyone has flaws, and that's not, no pasa nada, right? Like Hakuna Matata, that's okay. But the point is, what they are lacking, or what they don't have, or what they're not, what's missing, or whatever it is that something that you really need and value, and it's like a deal breaker? Like that's your decision. There's certain things that someone may be looking for that I may not care less about. Like it's like everybody's different. And, that's your decision to say, yes, I'm going to accept and support you as you're on this ride of therapy and doing all the things. And really actually understanding that they may never become that person ever that you really would want. And to me, that feels sad. That feels like, oh, wow. Because, I see it, I feel, I hear it so much around these, so many women I talk to. It's the fear of like, oh my gosh, like what if there's nobody out there? So like, let me just take this. Like at least they have these things that are good. I guess it's enough. I guess that's bullshit. Like I really feel like, when you're saying that to yourself, you have to be really honest and be like, oh my gosh, am I really scared of like, the unknown? And I really feel like when you're fearless and you have like this unwavering faith of like, oh my gosh, I know that I am deserving of an amazing love, and all of these things that I want exist. I have to say bye-bye to this. I have to say bye-bye to this relationship, and I have to be available for what awaits, which is all the things. Not like a fixer-upper situation where someone is going to be fixing themselves and maybe never become that partner that you really are ready for, right? So it's like, even as I'm saying this to you, and you may be on the fence, or you're with someone, you're like, oh my God, but I put all this time and energy. Is it really like think about the reasons why you're staying there, or even thinking about them and putting energy into them. It's really like a drop in the bucket. Like I really think it is. It's a drop in the bucket. I think that when you look at the big picture and you really want a life partner, For the most part, you're like thinking, what, 60 years, something like that. 50, 60, 70, whatever. You're doing life together. If you invested a few months, a year, 2 years, usually this usually happens around that time, right? When it's like, oh shit, everything's falling apart. It's like 6 months to a year and a half. But even after that, like let's say you're longer, right? I feel like at the end of the day, you want a partner for 50 years, right? 60, 70, like I said. Screw it. Bye-bye. Be fearless. Move forward. Say bye-bye. Thank you. And these are the things that are absolutely important for me to have this life, with this relationship where it feels easy. Like it should feel easy. It should not feel draining. It should not feel exhausting. And I feel like this is a message I had to say today. And I think someone is listening to it, and I hope it resonates with you. I hope you have the courage to just, move forward. Because I know that my last breakup that I had to, by the way, we went to a therapy session, and I remember we tried to do that. And that breakup sucked. It was awful. It was a year and a half I was with this person, and I was like willing to, move to New York and be with this person, and they didn't care, and they didn't make me a priority. And I realized I never would be. As much as they said maybe one day I would be, I just knew it wasn't. And that relationship, I had to make a decision to break up, and I knew it was going to hurt, and I cried, and it sucked. And let me tell you, it was like one of the best things I ever did, because I created that space to be available to receive a partner that was absolutely beyond my wildest dreams. You know what I mean? The person existed, everything that I wanted that was aligned, it was all there waiting for me. And I'm so happy that I left a relationship that in some ways I was comfortable, right? Because you're comfortable with what and you invested time and energy. So that it's like, man, damn, I put the time and energy into that. But I'm so happy that I had the courage to say bye-bye to that person and truly give myself, like that little Jackie that always wished of happily ever after, give her that chance. And I had that faith that it existed, and I found it. And so I hope this inspires you to not settle. Do not settle for something that doesn't light you up, for something that doesn't oh my gosh, I'm so freaking happy. Every day you're like, I am so freaking blessed. Right? Okay. As you're putting yourself out there, I am so rooting for you. And I am getting messages of the women listening to this podcast. I love that you're finding love. That means so much to me. You guys are listening to every episode, and I really hope you're dropping a review. It would mean so much to me. Share it with people. I really feel like this is a movement. We're changing things up, and we're not settling for anything less than crazy love, right? So until next time, don't forget, it has to be crazy love or nothing. Thank you.